On Christmas Eve, a powerful CEO stood frozen in the snow as a tiny girl tugged his coat and whispered something so strange, so desperate that his heart skipped a beat. Sir, and we borrow your Christmas tree. Just for tonight. Why would a child beg a stranger for a tree? What secret was she hiding about her mother? And why did this moment feel like it would change his life forever? Before the story unfolds, if you believe small acts of kindness can change lives, like the video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories, because stories like this deserve to be shared. The city was glowing with Christmas lights, but Daniel Cross felt nothing. At 42, he had everything the world admired: success, power, and a skyscraper with his name etched in glass. Yet on this Christmas Eve, as his driver slowed near a luxury hotel, Daniel asked him to stop. He wanted to walk. He didn't know why, only that the silence of his penthouse felt louder than the traffic outside. Snowflakes drifted down, soft and slow, settling on coats and sidewalks like unfinished thoughts. Daniel passed a row of decorated storefronts when he noticed a small Christmas tree displayed outside a closed shop. Simple, modest, glowing, with warm yellow lights. He paused, staring at it longer than he should have, when suddenly a small hand grabbed his sleeve. He looked down to see a little girl, no more than 7, bundled in a thin red jacket, her cheeks pink from the cold, her eyes wide and serious. She looked at him the way children look at adults when they have no other choice. "Sir," she said softly, "can we borrow your Christmas tree?" Daniel blinked, confused. "My tree?" he asked. She nodded quickly, afraid he might walk away. Just for tonight? I promise we'll give it back." Her voice trembled, not from the cold, but from fear. Daniel glanced around, expecting a parent to appear, but the street was busy and no one seemed to notice them. He knelt slightly so he could see her face better. "Why do you need a tree?" he asked gently. The girl swallowed hard. "Because my mom thinks Santa forgot us. And if she doesn't see a tree, she might stop believing too." Something in her words pierced him. Belief. Forgotten. Words Daniel knew too well. The girl tugged his sleeve again. "But please, my mom is sick. She can't get out of bed, but she keeps smiling for me. I just want her to wake up and see Christmas." Daniel felt his throat tighten. He remembered Christmas mornings alone after his wife passed away. His son gone to live with grandparents. The house full of expensive decorations that meant nothing. He had trees, many of them, but no warmth. He stood up slowly and looked at the little tree outside the shop. It wasn't his, but he could buy it. He could buy it. He could buy 1,000. Still, this felt different. "Where do you live?" he asked. The girl pointed down a narrow alley, dimly lit and quiet, far from the glittering lights. Every instinct told him to walk away. This wasn't his world. Yet his feet moved on their own. He bought the tree, lifted it himself despite his expensive coat, and followed the little girl through the alley. The building they entered was old, the stairs creaking with every step. Inside a small apartment, the air smelled of medicine and soup. A woman lay on a couch, pale but smiling when she saw her daughter. "Mama," the girl whispered excitedly. "Santa didn't forget us." Daniel set the tree down, plugged in the lights, and watched the room transform. The woman's eyes filled with tears. In that moment, Daniel realized something terrifying and beautiful. This borrowed tree was already giving him something he hadn't felt in years: hope. The woman tried to sit up, embarrassed by the stranger in her home, but Daniel gently told her to rest. "I'm just a friend," he said, though he didn't know when that had become true. The little girl danced around the tree, clapping softly so she wouldn't disturb her mother. "See, Mama? I told you Santa listens," she said. The woman reached for Daniel's hand with surprising strength. "Thank you," she whispered. I didn't know how to make this Christmas feel normal for her. Daniel looked away, afraid his emotions might spill out. Normal. His life had been anything but normal. Boardrooms, private jets, endless meetings. Yet here, in this tiny apartment, Christmas felt more real than it had in decades. He noticed the empty fridge, the unpaid bills on the table, the quiet dignity of a mother trying to protect her child's joy. Without announcing it, Daniel made a call. Groceries arrived. Medicine was arranged. He promised nothing out loud, but his actions spoke for him. The little girl handed him a paper ornament she had made herself. "For your tree," she said shyly. Hours later, as he prepared to leave, the girl hugged him tightly. You can take it back tomorrow, she said. Daniel shook his head. No, it belongs here. He stepped back into the cold night, but his chest felt warm. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone. Weeks passed. Daniel kept his promise without ever calling it one. He helped quietly, never asking for recognition. On Christmas morning, he received a drawing in the mail. 3 stick figures holding hands under a Christmas tree. On the back were words written carefully. Thank you for letting us borrow hope. Daniel framed it and placed it in his office where deals worth millions were made. That Christmas Eve didn't just change a mother and her daughter, it changed a man who thought success was everything. He learned that sometimes the smallest request can lead to the biggest miracles, and that hope, once shared, never truly leaves you. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Hopeful Stories, because kindness deserves to be remembered, and stories like this remind us what Christmas truly means.